This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again. The what can one and EJ can one the ration one the what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again. The what can one and EJ can one the ration one the what can one and EJ can one the ration one. This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again. The what can one and EJ can one the ration one the what can one and EJ can one the ration one.
Well, two incessant wins from two different competitions in a space of 4 days. Who said the defending champions are on the beams, and well, the Continental Masters are making sure that no smoke from that sweltering fire advancing from the north can overshadow that flowered oak tree here down south. But the most decorated, I don't know, but they are just losing steam as fast as the Diana Stars are upstaging every other opponent. Legon Cities are losing steam that fast. Well, but that is the dynamics of the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League season. And how about a feast up the mountain with that Hearts of Oak and Dreams Football Club on Christmas Day? Well, that is how we usher in week 10 of the ongoing competition amidst other thrilling fixtures across the various league centers. Match day 1 of the Women's Premier League was an excellent outing as well, because Azaka's ladies stepped on the pedal so hard and are in flight mode, running away from every other contender. There is a lot to talk about the festive season amidst football here in the regional capital. Well, my name is Abigail Senasoso, and this is how I welcome you to another edition of the beautiful game right here on GTV Sports Plus, where we got to talk about our most prestigious products. That's the Ghana Premier League and the Women's League as well. I'm here with the Lali Frank Awute, who joined the conversation very soon. But let's take some beautiful moments for match day 9.
This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again.
Welcome to the Ghana Premier League. It's match day 9 in Dewu, where this afternoon we're bringing you a hot encounter between Legon Cities Football Club. They're taking on Asante Kotoko. This afternoon's encounter proves to be a very, very tough one. Big question, can they kick off? They're wearing a resplendent red and black jersey over black shorts. The Porcupine Warriors, they're coming forward. They're threatening for the first goal. Solid cross goes in. But Kotoko still putting tabs on their opponents. This is Frank, and it's the first goal.
The magic for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but the header and straight look at the composure from Frank Mbella. But poor defending from Lagos City should be closing in on us.
They are a goal ahead. The free kick is going to be effected. It comes in deep. Shot on target. Very, very rare to see him start a game from the bench for Kotoko. Razak Abalora lost that.
Brilliant header. Look at the cross. We expect him to deal with that ball, Razak Abalora, but a shade late from his line.
Second half underway here, and Asante Kotoko are playing from left to right. Main team. Opportunity now for the second goal. Razak Abalora made himself big. Yes, in team once again. In team drives a shot on target. Bounces off the chest of Razak Abalora. Ganiyu Ismail with a free kick. Has to long for Safutila to get to, but he fights for it. Stephen Amankuna would love to go down the byline, sends in the decent cross, and that is the second goal. So
at it again, look at the pace and look at that cross. Brilliant header.
It's floated in nicely. Razaka Balora got his fingertips to it, and eventually they missed it. And that's the end of association football here. And Kotoko are back to winning way.
Welcome to the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It's a derby meant for the capital. First ever competitive meeting with the Phobians. The blue jerseys and the Phobians in their usual rainbow tops over purple shorts. Game already underway here in Cape Coast. Frederick Saki. It's a poor ball and a bad pass. Here is Barnier, who has taken the initiative and advantage. Brilliant from Awako onto Barnier. And
Barnier controlled, sent the ball to Awako. Awako back into Barnier, and Barnier just lacked composure in a very important moment. And that is the quality of Awako. Just knows where to pin the pass. The pass is a brilliant one, but
Sawono. Isaac Mensah, Daniel Barnier, good save from Frederick Asare. Barnier fails to score from a glove.
The pass from Sawono is an absolute peach. But the ball is put on the plate for Barnier. He should be finishing that one off. Isaac Mensah does the right thing there. Just sees Barnier in a very good area and just sets him up. But Barnier, not convincing enough.
He spotted the run of his captain, Fatal Mohammed. Fatal sends the ball looking for Barnier. Tries an overhead kick. There it go.
Again, Fatal galloping that right hand side. Just manages to get some sort of ball in there. Barnier does well to get ahead of his man. But from that angle to get that ball on target is not easy. But it was always going to be difficult to beat the goalkeeper from there. Needs something magical to make it happen.
Well, there's more action as we gone into match day 10 of the Ghana Premier League. No Christmas break for us because the football is getting heated and interesting. So the break might just take something away. But Delali is here with me, and it's good to see you in studio, Delali.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you too. We've done 9 matches so far. You have been directly involved with some because of your club you're affiliated with. And briefly, how has it been for you 9 weeks into the league?
Personally, I would say stressing. It involves a lot of traveling from my point of view, but also an exciting one. Whenever the Premier League comes back, you get to enjoy a lot of beautiful games. You get to watch players play week in, week out. You get to listen to players talk, and it's their job. So whenever they get up, just as we are here speaking, that's also what they do. So whenever football is back, it's an opportunity for them to go and work. And for someone who has been privileged enough to be closer to a club week in, week out is one that is exciting. And I think in the last 9 weekend has been one that everybody has enjoyed, has provided a lot of goals, a lot of exceptional talents, because I'm sure we'll be talking about it.
Sure.
If not for these few games, we would have seen how brilliant players like Abagna has been. We all saw him in the under-20, but because he was in the Division 1, we are not seeing a lot of him. But now he's in the Premier League. He's scoring week in, week out. Players are doing great. We are always hearing from football clubs and team news. So it's very exciting 9 weeks and early days yet, but we've seen clubs that looks like they might go on relegation. We've seen clubs that looks like they are fighting for the title. And I think I always say that after week 7, then the season start getting shaped, and those that will go on relegation needs to start doing things to get back on their feet. But so far, it's been an exciting week for everybody, for the players, for football fans, and also even for we that work for football clubs as well.
Sure. Okay, so talking about how interesting it has been, let's quickly run by you results from match day 9, and keep in mind that the M10 FA Cup is also ongoing. And so Diana Stars gave us a 5-goal trailer at the Nana Ajimabedu Park when they beat Bekum Chelsea 3-2. 11 Wonders stayed at home and beat VBN Gold Star 2-1 at the Cape Coast Stadium later on Sunday. Heart of Oak beat Accra Lions 2-0. Karilo United shared spoils with Bechem United at the compact. Real Tamale United, Ali Mama Stadium is fast becoming a fortress, beat Elmina Sharks 2-0, and West Africa Football Academy. This one put the first one on Mediama SC at the Red Bull Arena. Legon Cities at home and struggling. They were beaten 1-2 by Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Asante Gold shared spoils with Great Olympics, who are fast becoming the draw masters. And then on Tuesday, Kinfesa managed to beat Dreams FC 3-2. I don't know which of the results that really caught your attention.
Well, I think Ash goes against Great Olympics. For Ash Gold, in as much as they don't pick enough wins away from home, you always expected them to pick a good win whenever they play at home. But for Great Olympics to travel all the way to the Lincoln Sports Stadium to manage to get a draw against Ashanti Gold, and is very important, because if you look at the Premier League, the dynamics are so great. If you travel away from home and at least you get a point, it's always important. It helps you to position yourself well. So I say Ash Gold. If you look at Adriana, for instance, their game against Beijing Chelsea give us a lot of goals, and if you watch Adriana and how they've played, whenever they play at home, it's one that is quite difficult to win. The grounds is very difficult for most clubs that visit there, and for that I was not surprised. If you look at Dreams FC against Alhaji Gusa's side, Kinfesa, people might be surprised, but I said, I think last week, that the Kinfesa we saw last season is not the one that we are seeing. They are more focused, they are more compact, they play as a unit, and they score more goals than the last season. If you look at Kinfesa last season, they were conceding more goals. Scoring was not a problem for them, because if you look at Kwame Popra, for instance, he was always scoring goals. They were scoring at least a goal per game, but was conceding at least 2 goals per game, and that was their problem. And now they managed to prevent opponents from scoring them more or outscoring them, and they are rather outscoring opponents, and that is what is helping them. If you watch almost their games, whenever they play at the Kumasi Sports Stadium, they try everything possible best to get a win, and I was not surprised that they managed to put one behind Dreams FC. Also, Rotterdam United against Almina Sharks, if you look at Almina Sharks, even at home, they are struggling to get the win. How much more traveling all the way to Tamale to go and play Rotterdam United? And I like what Rotterdam United are doing there. You know, it's a strategy if you want to stay in the league, and it's always important when you get your home wins and try to get at least some few draws away. And I always say Wafa has always stayed in the Premier League because of the ability to always win when they play at the Wafa Arena, the Red Bull Arena. It's very important. Whenever they play home, they manage to win, and that is what RTU are doing now. They are trying everything possible. No matter the opponent, no matter who you are, at least they will get a draw or a win. If you look at Wafa, for instance, this win was an important one for them, because they've not been good at home. The Wafa that whenever opponents are playing them, they are scared. Whenever you are playing Wafa, you are not scared of losing the point. You are scared of the number of goals you are going to concede. But now opponents go there and go and play them convincingly, and they are also not good travelers, and it's a problem for them, because they are not opponents that you know that if they don't win at home, they can travel away from home and go and pick a point. So I think that is something that they need to check. So getting a late winner against Mediama was an important one, and if you watch it on TV, how they jubilated and how they celebrated that win clearly tells you that it was one that they needed almost. If you look at Legon City against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, because of Legon City's head coach, I would have expected Legon Cities to perform and perhaps at least get a draw against Asante Kotoko. On paper, it was a Kumasi Asante Kotoko win to take, but because of the head coach of Legon Cities, he's more experienced when it comes to the Premier League. He has been with the other side. He knows some of the players in the team. He knows the dynamics and how the team prepares for games. So I was expecting them to compete, and I think they did that. They had some chances, they had opportunities and moments that if they had taken it, they would have perhaps worried Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And also, perhaps because it was a home away from home, because the Accra Sports Stadium was used for another purpose, they were not allowed to play at home, and as a result, they played away from home. Perhaps that might also be a factor. But for them, ideally, it would not be a surprising result that because they have lost to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But because of their recent performance and how they've been struggling to get to the point, and what we expect from them, whenever Lagos Cities are playing, is always a matter of they have to win the game, and whenever they lose, is news. But for losing to Kotoko shouldn't be one that we are all surprised. But because of circumstances and factors around the club, that is why. Is that? But for me, I think the results are one that I was not surprised. Apart from as good drawing with Accra Youth Olympics, but it means it's more emphasis on the kind of job that Anowoka has done with his boys. And I always, because I'm closer to a football club, I always respect teams that manage to travel away and get a points. Okay, so before Sisho will join this conversation, let's take a look at our statistics after match day 9. Interesting things that have happened in the last 9 weeks that the Premier League has started. And so we got to see that David Abagna has scored in 2 consecutive games for RTU after we have done a total of 78 games with a total of 165 goals. And then Augustine Okra has also scored in the same number of games for Bechem United. Legon Cities are yet to win in their last 7 games. So Diana Stars have won 6 consecutive games after week 9. Heart of Oak have also recorded 2 back-to-back wins in the league. And then Frank Mbella has scored in 2 consecutive games for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. 18 goals have been recorded with 1 game to be played, that is later. And Kotoko is the only away side to have recorded a win in match day 9. Interesting, 1 red card recorded in week 9. So we've had 10 red cards so far after 9 games. That is over 1.5 card per game, because that's too much. King Faisal are yet to lose a game in their last 5 games, and 2 goalkeepers have won MVPs after week 9, and that is it. So that was with the statistics that we have after week 9. My worry before we see Sicho has joined us is the number of red cards. Yeah, 10 after week 9. It's more than 1 per game. Yeah, it means that whenever, from my background as a trained referee, whenever players take red cards and yellow cards, it means either they are not more disciplined or either they struggle to understand the basic laws of the game. Because things that get you cautioned, and I always say that things that get you cautioned and sent off in the game are very clear. Okay. They are very clear in the laws, and if you know it, you don't do it, you get cautioned. But sometimes I would say that it's not a good image. It's not statistics that you will be proud of. So the players need to be more careful. They need to understand the laws very well, be more disciplined, always respect the rules of the referee. You can't it's not every call of the referee that will be in your favor, or every call that you'll be happy with. But just as when once told Balotelli, don't complain when the referee gives you an offense, because no amount of complaint will rescind the referee's decision. You are not VR. So just make it worse. Yeah. Some of these are cautions that have come because of retaliation and all that. Okay, let's look at our table after match day 9. I don't know what is happening in Doma, but maybe we just have to visit and see what the Diana Stars are doing right, because on the league log they still continue to lead the path and are on top with some 20 points. Kumasi Bay King Faisal are second, also on 20 points, all on goal difference with Diana Stars, and Asante Kotoko are third on 17 points. Bechem United coming steadily are fourth on 14 points. Dream Football Club now like 5th on 14 points. Real Tamale United are 6th, also on 14 points. Great Olympics are 7th on 13 points. Ash Gold have moved to the first part of the table and are 8th on 12 points. Medium SC are 9th, also on 12 points. And this is how the second part of the table looks like. Karela United are 10th. On 10 points, and BBNE Gold Stars are 11th, also on 10 points. Accra Heart of Oak are moving gradually and still have 3 games in hand and are 12th with 9 points. 11 Wonders are 13th, also on 9 points. Bekum Chelsea 14th on 8 points. Wafa 15th, a little above the drop zone on 8 points. Accra Lions are 16th on 8 points. Legon Cities are 17th on 7 points. Elmina Sharks are 18th on 7 points. Sharks, does it look like the season they might just not survive? I don't want to say that for any club. I don't want to ever wish that for any club, but I'll just tell them to be more careful, because they nearly went out last season and they survived in the late the late kick last games of the season. So I think they need to be more careful. It's just unfortunate that they lost their head coach who resigned. Lamptey resigned. They have a new head coach. I'm just hoping that they will do things right, but the manner in which they are losing at home is not encouraging, and the club needs to start playing. Most of the times when teams start and they are going on relegation, they don't correct stuff early, and that becomes a problem. You need to be able to correct it as early as possible, and you don't wait to hit 15 with 20. When it gets there, the league is now taking shape, and you struggle. So whilst you're in the first 10, first 11, you need to do things right and try to position yourself. But after 11 teams that will go on relegation, you realize that it's written all over them, and if the club is not careful. I always hate it when clubs wait till the last few games and try to do everything possible to survive, which is not good for your fans and even your players and even and the entire administration. So it is always right if you try to correct few things in the early season, like what Dreams did last season, for instance, when things were tough. He brought in Village and he took them all the way from bottom to top of the league. So it's always important to do things right in the early stages than to get to the last minute.
Okay, for some of us it is all joy because the provisional squad for the Black Stars was named yesterday, and 5 of our performers were in that squad, 1 goalkeeper and 4 out-and-out players. And so it tells you that we are doing something right after match day 9. But my worry, and I don't want to carry it in the days ahead, they'll be dropped or they'll be allowed to go there and test the waters and make a statement for our Premier League here back at home. But this is Richard Atta from Accra Heart of Ogu, one of the 5 that has been called upon by Coach Milo to be a part of that one. And the man of the moment, David Abagna Sangdan of Tamale United, the man in your shot, is also a part of that squad. And we have Maxwell Abekwe of Great Olympics is also a part of that squad. Not surprised at all, given his performance in the last 9 games. Philemon Akotoba, for the man with the strongest heart I have seen, is also a part of that squad for the Black Stars. And finally will be the discovery, Swag's discovery of the year, the player of the moment. He's been touted the Abedi Pele of our time. We are praying and hoping he lives to that billing. Will be Fatah Shahaku, who is also of Dreams Football Club and a teammate of Philemon Akotoba. So the question I'm asking is, 5 out of the over 200 players that we have, is it a right reflection of the season we have had in the last 9 weeks?
I think it's a big question that I don't know how to answer it. Either way, if I say it's okay, it's not. I can't say it's okay because you can't call 9 players out of over 100 players and say it's okay. But in context, if you look at where you are coming from, and there's been moments where the Black Stars has not even had any local player. Till now that we have at least 9 players in the squad, that you know that you are sure that some will even make it to the final squad, then I would say it's an improvement. Yes, it is. But whether it's okay, no, I can't say is enough, because if you look at the English national team, half of the squad comes from the English Premier League, you know. So I can't say is. But
what does this say about our quality? I appreciate the comparison that you are making now. What does it say of what we have here? Is it that the masses or a lot, maybe it's not more than 10, do not even merit to be a part of the Black Stars?
No, merit is too big a word, and merit can also be subjective. Like what the head coach sees as good might be different from what you and I think as good, and that's why I mostly don't like questioning coaches when they make their starting 11, because just as I have the right to an opinion, he also have the right to his opinion. But fortunately for him, his decision stands. I can just make noise and nobody will listen to me.
After match day 9, is Richard Atta our best goalkeeper?
I think the decision for the players, most of them, is not based on only the week 9. If you look at competitiveness, experience with the team. Look at Atta, for instance. This was his first time. He has been called before. So experience is important. If you look at consistency, I think he has played more games in the season calendar than almost all the goalkeepers. If you look at Fatai Shako.
Please, you hold that thought for me. As James Philip has joined the conversation, and we would have to hear from him as well. Sisha, it's good to hear from you. Good evening.
Hi, Abiyo, Salah, good evening to everybody watching the last world. Good evening. Nice to be here.
Thank you very much. We'll talk about what happened to me in Cape Coast later, but today we are going to talk about the 5 players that have been called into the Black Stars by Coach Milo. We are asking that 5 players, is that a clear reflection of the kind of competition that we have down here?
Well, yeah, I think it is. I think the 5 players are a true reflection of what we have down here, I must admit. Well, I would have loved to see more, but of course, it's Ghana we are talking about. And Ghana has got a lot of players scattered across the world. And we are not looking at picking our local players for the AFCON. We are looking at picking the best available 28-man squad who are Ghanaians to the AFCON. So I just think the 5 of them coming from the Ghana Premier League in itself, it's quite a reflection of what we have.
When you say best, does it mean that at this point, if we do not want that, but if we go and they are dropped from the final squad, they are not the best that we can, they are not part of the best that we can assemble as a nation?
Not necessarily. I mean, every nation coming to the AFCON is going to bring their best. But the best out of the very best is expected to win the AFCON. So you could pick your best 28-man squad to the AFCON. It doesn't guarantee that you win it, because there are several other countries who might be just better than you in the year that the AFCON is going to be played. So when you look at the squad that Ghana has presented, for example, it's about the best crop of players that we've got available to us as a country. As to whether it's going to be the best team at the AFCON is one thing. And here we are talking about players, whereas it's a team in itself that wins the tournament. So every country produce or call up massive players with big names. They call the teams, or call the names of the players which are huge. But if they're going to put a team together to play together as a team, I'm not sure they win anything. So we've got, if you like, the best 28 players who are going to be there to represent Ghana. Most of them are, but it doesn't guarantee we are going to win it. Far from that.
No. I do not want us to burst our own bubble, because at this point we always get elated that we have Ghanaian players that are, local players that are called into the squad, and in the end, they all come back home. Let's look at these 5 players, goalkeeper aside. The remaining 4 out-and-out players, who would you have wished that whatever happens, at least 2 or 3 should remain with the squad?
Well, with the major developments happening around the squad, the doubts about Kudus, the doubts about Afinejan, I think that all of these players who have been called from the locals are going to be in the final list. And more importantly, as Steve mentioned, from midfield to the attacking players that we've got in the side, I think that we've got genuine quality to add a lot of mix to the team that we've got there. Because when you look at a player like Abagna, we don't really have a midfielder who has got goals in his legs. Yeah, you talk about Partey, his numbers for the Black Stars are incredible. But what Abagna also does is to give you goals from there. What Shawaku does as well in attack is to give you goals. And so we are looking at 2 players from the local scene, and Matthew Abekwe as well. He gives you goals. When you take a look at the top goal scorers charts of the Ghana Premier League, all of these 3 players I've mentioned are going to be in there. Now we have a Black Star team that in recent times have struggled to get goals in behind the net, or to get a ball behind the net. So when they're going for the AFCON, you cannot rely on your strikers to give you only the goals. You want to share responsibility from defense to midfield to the rest of the attackers. And they've got Abagna who's got goals in his legs. We've got Matthew Abekwe who's got goals in his legs. Shawaku needs no introduction. So I just think that these 3 players that I've mentioned from midfield to the attack, I don't see how they are dropped from the squad. I think that genuinely they can go to the AFCON, and if given the opportunity, can be impactful.
I would want to stay with your assertion that with what we have presented now, we should be in high spirits. Just maybe they might just make the final cut. And for you and I that follow the league, I think that we'll be happy because it will be a plus for us. Moving away from our local players and the Black Stars, we started this conversation 2 weeks ago when issues about Lagos Cities not paying players net and all that came to bear again. We're asking that at this point in time where we are trying to be as professional as we can, player welfare, is this something that our club administrators still do not have a firm grip over?
Well, I think that in this world in which we are, let's be blunt, what businessmen try to do most of the time is to increase their profit margins. And so if you're on the other end of the business, which is the one who's supplying or the one who is actually going into business with a businessman, you have to look after yourself. It is why it's important for the reps of these players to be demanding for some of these things to happen. Because if the player is going to play a whole season without demanding that the slate is going to be played or other welfare, the remunerations are going to be paid to the players, the businessman is looking at keeping money and expanding the business and increasing the profit margin. That is why it is crucial that when a deal is going to be signed, when a season is about to start, and as players play, they've got reps who understand the business end of their game, who can take absolute good care of what is coming in. Otherwise, they're always going to be cheated. For a club that is not paying select and all of that for players, I call it cheating. Honestly, if you ask me, I call it cheating. Because it is not as if the club does not know what to do. It is about not doing it because there isn't pressure for that to be done. However, there also needs to be a lot of compliances for clubs to meet before the FA agrees that they play football. And all of that has to be checked. All of that has to be checked as well. So they need to go through vigorous. Human beings as we are don't want to do the normal things most of the time. But when there are checks, when there are balances, and when there are sanctions to breach these things, I think that it puts all of us in order. That is why you cannot meet me on the road and slap me because it's asshole. You go behind the bars. But if you had your own way, maybe you could have hit me with a stone. But because there are laws which are guiding us, it keeps us in a certain order. So the FA needs to bring up strict measures. That means that players are paying their welfare, is catered for, and agents of these players will need to make sure that all of these things are signed, and if breached, there are legal effects to it, and that will bring the clubs in line. Otherwise, this is not going to be the last we discuss some of these issues.
Okay. Teacher, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure we'll have more conversations as the season go by and possibly be in the studio with us one of these Thursdays.
My pleasure. The pleasure is mine, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. And so I like the tangent to which you took the player welfare discussion. As in now, let's move away from the players if they can't speak for themselves. How about the reps that go in to sign the contracts with them? After signing, what again do they contribute to make sure the players are okay?
I nearly said that perhaps when I was gathering my thoughts when I was on my way, perhaps Sitcho was also discussing the same thing with me, but we've not spoken. I always take the conversation away from the normal one that we see, because Sitcho said something. The football clubs are owners, are businessmen, and they would always do everything possible to maximize return, as in make a lot of money from that. And it's not only in football. If you look at every other industry, owners and CEOs shy away from paying these little employment benefits. And that is why, as a country, we even have labor laws and these other welfare bodies. And it's not different from football. Football is also an industry with businessmen and CEOs. So they will always stay away and shy away from paying bills. Like, that is it. Every business owner will shy away from paying bills. And that is the honest truth. So in our industry, it is almost like that. So the players themselves, the welfare bodies, those that follow them to sign contracts, ought to follow and make sure that the clubs do what is necessary. This is something that is not only in football, but every other institution. But the other institutions, the labor union are always, we've seen UTAG, like University Teachers Association, going on several strikes. Clearly tells you that when it comes to condition of services, it is not only a problem of football. It's a nationwide challenge. And in our industry, we should look at how we can solve it. And we can't solve it by allowing the players after every game sitting and closing our hands. Yes, CEOs and club owners have to pay their players. They deserve the salary. However, in every institution, in everywhere, there are people that will try away and stay away from their responsibilities, and that is where the laws are there. So for me, managers, people that say they are managers of players, not only just following them around, but people that manage them, follow them to sign contracts, should make sure that the players get the benefits that they deserve every time.
Okay, we just need to make sure that they are giving what they deserve, because they are the ones that give us that excellent performances week in, week out, and we are the same people that will come back and complain of player excellence, because if you are not giving me the little due me and I'm shown something way beyond what you can give me, I will go, and that is where we lose track of our talent, and it is something that is really not going well for us. But we have no Christmas at home, because we will be on the move at the various league centers, because week 10 is here and there is no break for us at all. So let's see how our clubs will be lining up for match day 10, and then we'll come and talk about that big one at the Theatre of Dreams, because Hartlepool are traveling again to the mountains, to the Theatre of Dreams, to play that grounding and that stubborn side at home. I'm talking about Dreams FC, and so we'll leave that one because that will be our game of the week. And on Saturday, it will be Asante Kotoko welcoming West Africa Football Academy to the Babaya Sports Stadium. Bechem United will play King Faisal at home, and Bekum Chelsea at the Golden City Park will play Ashanti Gold. Bibiani Gold Stars at the Dance Park will play Karila United. Great Olympics, Segakope, I'm told, they'll play 11 Wonders. Mediama Asia, the Yakun Park, will host upstage in the Diana Stars. Let's see how that will go. And then on Monday, Accra Lions will welcome Real Tamale United. Amina Sharks will play Legon Cities also on Monday to give us that Christmas fixtures. But we'll hear from Village very soon, who is the head coach, welcoming Hartlepool up the mountain. But these are the fixtures we have, and our beautiful game match of the week clearly will be Dreams Football Club against Hartlepool at the Theatre of Dreams, because the last time they were there, it was a different story altogether. Hartlepool were down to 10 men at a point, and then Dreams FC got the better of them and beat them 2-0. I don't know if you have anything to say about the fixtures before we hear from Village ahead of this one.
Let's listen to the head coach, then perhaps I would base the argument.
But the other fixtures,
I think if you look at the other games, first of all, I'm excited with the fact that there's no Christmas break.
Why?
I've always said that football is also an entertainment. Sorry, football is also a form of entertainment and part of the entertainment industry. And once musicians are playing shows left, right, center, it's always important that football fans also get to enjoy football, because in Europe, on 26th, you can be in your house and you watch football from the morning to the evening. So I'm excited that there's no Christmas break. I think I'll take it from where Kodoko will be playing Wafa at home. Wafa are not good on the road, and if you look at Kodoko and how they've been performing, the fans will be expecting them to get a win. And once it's a Christmas day, obviously a win for the Kumasi Bees fans will be something that I will not be surprised of.
Catch some air and get some water. We are going to hear from Vladislav Veric, who is the manager of Dreams Football Club. I don't know, he said he attests the fact that yes, Hearts is a big club and they're defending champions. I don't know if he wants to massage the situation, but let's hear from him ahead of that one on Christmas Day.
Yes, tomorrow Sunday is going to come best team in Ghana. They play Africa Federation, and they have a lot of good players. They are best team in Ghana, and last year we played against them. It was game 50-50, and we scored them 2-0 because my player was focused and constant. And Sunday also is going to be believing game 50-50, and I hope my players are going to be focused, constant, disciplined, to don't try to make any mistakes. If they be able to do this, we're going to win them again. But football is about mistakes. 3 players will go, and I don't know what they told me, because now it's summertime and it's time here, it's changing. We have 6-7 players with malaria. Even yesterday we went there with 15 players only. But no excuse in life. You should do your job, and you should prepare your team to try to win. As we have problem, I'm sure another teams also has problems. how you say, welcome to Ghana. Asofoko prepared his team from Africa, and they brought a lot of good players. But we have this advantage because we play at home. And here in Ghana, you have this kind of mentality that if you play at home, you have one way of thinking. When you play a way, you have another way of thinking. What I to repeat, don't understand. But we play at home, and I hope my players, Asofoko, TV, a lot of people will be enough motivation for them to give their all to give 200%, no 100%. If you want to win Asofoko, you should give 200%.
Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own. Let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League.
Okay, welcome back to GTV Sports Plus, and this is the beautiful game with me, Abigail Senna. So if you just joined that, Frank Aute Delali is my guest in the studio, and you heard Verage. He says that we are going to play against a side that has paraded his charges for Africa and back and all. You need to be 200% focused. I don't know if he's trying to be nice.
I think that's the truth, because even the last time Dreams FC played against Accra Asofok at the U, Dreams although managed to win by 2-0. I say that the scoreline was not
a reflection,
an entire reflection of the game, because the first half, Asofok had a better chances in the game. They created enough chances to have even scored 1 or 2 goals in the first half. Dreams came back in the second half and managed to unsettle Asofok and got those 2 goals, because the first one was a good goal, the second one was in the late minutes of the game. So you always know that playing against Asofok or any other traditional club is a game that takes a lot from you and your squad, and you have to be extremely focused, because it's a game that brings a lot of fans to the stadium. It's not a game that whenever you are playing, you know that at least the stadium will be full, and the fans will be coming in their numbers, and the opposition fans will be there in their numbers, and they'll be making a lot of noise. So if you're a player, if you're a head coach and you're going to such a game, you always lead your players to be extremely focused on the game, because games like this brings a lot of press. Even before the game, everybody will be talking about it. If you are playing any other game, Dreams played against 11 Wonders, there was lesser conversation around it. How many Dreams FC games have you used as beautiful game?
Oh no,
exactly.
This is clearly a big one.
Exactly. So it clearly tells you that this is a game that press will be talking about it. You'll be hearing a lot of conversation before the game. So you need to be extremely focused on the pitch business, so that you can provide your more than 100%, because these games like this, you need more than 100%.
Would you dare to predict, to say that maybe Dreams can get that win again, or Asofok are coming with a new energy?
My position gives me a lot of information, but I would say that Dreams playing at home is a grounds that they are led to lose this season. Even last season, the entire home games, Dreams lost, I think, only 2 games. And Asofok also lost at the U. If you look at Dreams against us, Dreams are always good when it comes to playing against us at the U. So statistics favors Dreams FC, and when you look at Dreams home records, there's one that Dreams should be able to carry the day.
Okay, so he said it in different words. Dreams should be able to carry the day based on stats, but it's a field that will determine that on Christmas Day. So let's see how that goes up the mountain. But before we zoom into women's football as well, let's take some of your feedback when we put up our match of the week. Ishmael says that they never stay there until the bones are ready, and they are ready for every team. Papa Brown says that they are still hard to folk and they are capable of doing anything. And Bless says that house will score dreams and dreams will wake up and realize it was all a dreams after all. Hey, that's some miming there. And Great Andy says that when are they playing this match? Please, it's on Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Theatre of Dreams, and so you can come and spend Christmas with us. Last says that great match, but the better side will win. He tries to be neutral as usual. Farouk says we are winning, Massa. I don't know the we, whether you are for the home or the away team. And then Gideon says it's possible to do it again, Phobia Masters. And someone is asking, without Fatal, okay, that's a different story we'll talk about. And Theophilo says that the Oak family never says that they'll go higher. 3 points assured for Phobia. Mohammed says that inshallah Phobia will win. Nkansa says that the venue and the date will determine. So it looks like a lot of people have left it for the pitch to decide, and people are asking questions about the players that have left the home side to join the senior national team. But it's time to talk about the Women's Premier League as well, and I know the Lally is so interested in that one as well, because week 1 came calling and it was a very interesting one, but for that incident that Popular Ladies were attacked while they were returning to Tamale after their win. Unfortunate incident over there. We'll hear from Coach Malam very soon. Malam Nuhu, who is a part of Popular Ladies, will get talking and see how they are getting ready for week 2, because that is a lot to talk about. And so let's see how week 1 went in the women's but before we take the fixtures, I'm told Coach Malam has joined us. Coach, if you can hear me, good evening and thank you for your time. Coach, if you can hear me, good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you very much for joining us here on GTV Sports Plus. We are talking about the Women's Premier League. But for that incident, what do you make of the league that started just last weekend, the games that Popia played and the other clubs as well?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the start of the league has been very interesting as against the start of the previous leagues that we have encountered. And I think we had very interesting results across both the southern sector and the northern sector. And it's only a matter of time that Ghanaians will know the kind of women football that we are going to witness this coming season.
One will say that you should have jubilated or still be in a good mood over your win over Mpim Dakwa at their home, that 1-0 win. But the incident that happened, how was your team recovered? And so to say, sorry for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it was a mixed feeling because we had a win from away from home, a very interesting, a very tough win. Because Techina is a venue that we have not had win there before. Yeah. Our best there has always been a draw, and winning there was very interesting. We were all happy until that incident happened. But we can only give thanks to Almighty Allah for protecting us and then having His blessings on us, because it was a very sad and a very scary situation that we found ourselves, especially me being the leader of the team. I'm just imagining what I was going back to Tamale to tell parents of these lads what happens to me and the kids. So I thank God Almighty Allah for giving us that protection, even though I wasn't with them because I had a meeting at the GFA the following morning. So after the match, I made sure that everything was okay for them, and then I left, and then they also left, only for me to hear that this was what they were going through. But thankfully, no one was hurt in the bus, and then they are okay, because the following morning I made sure that after my meeting I had to return back to Tamale to make sure that everybody was okay. I visited almost all of them, and I made sure that we assemble at our training ground for everything to be okay, because I didn't want them to be in that mood for long, because some of them are actually very, they are young girls, and if I allow that to stay with them for long, it might have some effect. So I made sure that we did recovery training the next day, and then we continued yesterday, and today we had our training because we played FC Savannah on Saturday. So for now, as we speak, everything is okay, everybody is happy again, and then we are on course.
Yeah, I was coming to that. I'm going to talk about FC Savannah. New entrants that got 5 goals in their opening game. Clearly, they've made a statement that they really want to compete for this trophy, and welcoming them home this weekend. How is that game going to be like?
For newcomers, yes, they can brag and they can talk because they were lucky they had the first win against an old side, that is Prisons Ladies, with a wider margin. That was about 7 goals in that match. And so winning against Prisons Ladies, I think they have every right to say that they are going in for the trophy. But then they have to be mindful of the fact that we're playing 9 matches in the first round, 9 matches in the second round. There will be FA Cup matches along, and so we don't want to talk about so many matches. We're picking the matches one after the other as they come. We're down at Pundakua, and our next game is with FC Savannah. We are not talking about we are going in for the trophy or we are doing whatever. We're playing a league game against FC Savannah. So let's hope patiently and see come Saturday what's going to happen at the Ali Muhammad Stadium.
Okay. Coach, thank you very much for your time. It's good to hear that everybody at Pelpia is fine and ready for this weekend fixture. I'm sure we'll talk more as the season will by.
Yeah, thank you too. Let me just 1 minute, because the FA was very much concerned and they asked that they give us at least a week to recover for that trauma. But we as the club, we decline as very good to the General Secretary for that opportunity.
Okay. Thank you very much for acknowledging the help that came along. But for even the men to face accidents and that is a different thing altogether. A young lady and being attacked. And if you see the bus, it's not something you would want to talk about.
When I saw the tweet, I think if I tweeted that I could easily relate to this because I always travel with our team and I'm always with the boys, and I could easily feel this could have easily been like me and for these young ladies who just want to go and play football. And you remember what we are still mourning those young girls who faced that drastic incident. So I was really down and I was just praying that nothing happened to them, and I like their strength. I would have wished that the team will just take some time off, let the players recover as the FA suggested. But they also, footballers, they always want to play, and perhaps they feel it would have affected their momentum.
If they stay at home, they'll get to think about it.
Yeah, no, perhaps it's a bit psychological, and maybe they look at the psyche of the ladies. They believe perhaps putting them on the pitch again is one that will help them. And for this,
so this sorry, Delali. So this is what happened to Pelpia ladies when they returned into Tamale after they played Ampimdakwa in Techiman. And so these are some of the things we do not really want to be seen talking about.
When you see these things, perhaps I always, when conversation happens, I always want to take it a bit further. Then perhaps we would say if there are resources, we could consider clubs that travel long distances, travel at night, might get perhaps police escort. Have a police in their bars, a police officer in their bars. For security reasons, will be very important. I'm for all of us.
This will get Madam Rosling and Madam Hillary thinking.
Not only in the women's football, but in the men that also travel around as well. We are travel on the same road, and this can happen to everybody. And very important that perhaps a reminder. But if I don't know, but if you are unmobile, you are watching us, why would you do that?
I'm sure if they didn't know there were footballers in them, they think they are
you don't have to do that. You don't have to.
For their business.
Enjoy football, enjoy things that happen in Ghana, and don't be hurting friends. It's not nice.
We are about wrapping up, but let's quickly run by you our fixtures for match week 2 in the Women's League as well. In the Northern Zone, Prisons ladies will face Northern ladies, and Pelpia ladies will see how they channel their energies against FC Savannah as a new entrant. Kumasi Sports Academy will will play Supreme Ladies, and Dreams Ladies will play Fabulous Ladies. Ashtown Ladies will also play Ampim Dakwa Ladies to sum up those fixtures in the northern zone. And in the southern zone, Soccer Intellectuals will play Sea Lions. Lady Strikers will play Thunder Queens, and Please Ladies will play Berry Ladies, while First Ladies will play Migration Ladies, and Army Ladies will welcome Hazakas Ladies in that fixture. Interesting fixtures across both zones in there. We have Delali. I think it's time for us to leave now. Thank you very much for making time for us here on the beautiful game on GTV Sports Plus. And so it's Christmas, but then we are still enjoying football across the various league centers. So when you wake up, you get your breakfast, you get your Christmas chicken. Maybe the next destination should be any of the various league centers nearer to you. Enjoy the women's football, enjoy the men's games as well. But if you can, let's travel up the mountain and see just what Christmas Day has for us between Hartlepool and Dreams Football Club, a fixture between a big brother and a young brother. Let's see how that will go. But on Saturday, I will be at the mountain, so you can join me and let's all merry while we enjoy some of these beautiful games, because this is our league.
This is our own, let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own, let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again.